Hello there folks, this is Ferengi on board again. Welcome to my little YouTube channel, a place where I discuss different topics on spirituality, deep introspection, dream interpretation and other things and topics that cross my mind, or I usually post some videos as a response to some people's questions when I feel ready about that, of course. And the topic that came as an idea to my mind today, well, actually, it came to my mind a while ago, but I think today is the time to do it. The idea of this video is to discuss about something that parents have been telling us for a long time, and it's nothing else than a vicious cycle that has been really going on and on again and again. And it is the topic of nothingness. Okay, most likely all of you will remember sooner or later the idea of you are nothing, or you will become nothing if you don't do what I say, or different such things. Now the point of this video would be again as an eye-opener and to present things a bit more introspectively. Everything in this world and in this life as is gonna be taught in reverse in a way, or in any way possible that is as far away from your own truth as possible, because the truth can never be taught, because the truth has to be realized. This is something that the whole world will be in a way straying away from, because I was in the 6th grade the first time I thought, and actually a voice told myself, and I also told it to myself, life is just a video game. And that was like the first time. I can't call it necessarily an epiphany, but the idea simply was like ingenious. And now everything seems to be just a representation of that, more like a proof towards that idea that came to my mind. I've had numerous ideas come to me when I was very young, and well, simply put, as time passed, it seemed that everything that would come to me would be more or less something to prove that. So the point is, I've been told in my life many times by my parents that I would become nothing, and people would laugh at me, or I don't know, whatever else. These are just some simple stupid things, and the point in life is to actually become nothing, because you are born something and you have to become nothing. Now of course, I'm not speaking about nothing in terms of societal aspects, okay, like be a nothing, like be someone who people won't ever remember. No, to be part of history, one actually needs to take part in it, and well, that implies becoming someone. Okay, so how can becoming someone and being nothing be the same thing? Well, because you see, the mindset that you have been given is one that will always feed the inner dialogue, and I'm a champion in that, so I know most likely much better. And the point about this is very simple. The more inner struggles you have and the more inner dialogues you have, the less chances you have for your third eye to open. So as the third eye doesn't open and remains locked because of so many illusions, because usually internal dialogue spawns a lot of illusions, and illusions block the third eye. The point about this is this, okay? You're not gonna see things the way they are, you're just gonna believe like literally everything you're being said, and you're just gonna carry them on like literally probably for the rest of your life, which has been going on for like countless generations, because no one ever taught people, and there wasn't enough awareness for people to actually start thinking what children are. In most situations, children were like, well, nothing else than a kind of another nuisance, but for religious purposes and whatever else, it was quite necessary to, you know, have children, because you actually had to keep a certain reputation, right? This is one of the greatest illusions, that of reputation. You have to become someone through a so-called illusion of reputation. Now the point about reputation is, it's actually literally inexistent. Through my awareness, I usually prefer breaking things down directly, instead of just like putting some sugary aspects on it. I don't like endearing things. I just prefer presenting them the way they are, with another point that I might do it in a brutal way maybe, but this is in a way what I am. So the point is, as you develop, you kind of accumulate karma, because karma means nothing else than memory, and basically the whole existence of a person is nothing else than the memory they have acquired before they were born, so that the karmic structure that was being built would support the physical body they would have. And later on, the point is very simple. Any experience you go through, any memory, any emotional attachment, any psychological attachment that you make in life, those are gonna be simple things that will be put on your back, let's say, and these are again things that contribute to the accumulation of karmic presence, let's say. Let's call it of karma. Okay, now many people will ask, how can you remove this karma? But I can easily feel that this question comes more from that fear of some white bearded fuck that lives somewhere up there, and they don't have any other purpose than, you know, like simply judging people and, you know, punishing them and sending them to some kind of you know, hellish spaces. But people don't understand that hell and heaven are here on this world, and it only depends on your own current vibration. If you want to have a pleasant life, just improve your vibration. If you want to live in hell, you don't need to die and you know, wait to actually reach there, because there is no such thing as hell. Those things only exist in your mind. Now the point about that, of course there are different thousands, millions, billions of parallel dimensions. Yes, some of them might actually be hellish and such, but don't worry about you actually reaching that place, okay? Now the point in life is that you actually have to become nothing, because when you are born you are actually something, okay? You have a code that allows you to become functional, okay? Just like the character in a video game. The character is capable to move and perform different animations because there is a code behind it. And just like you have different levels of coding up to you. You have the coding that is physical, okay, to which you have no control. That is one thing that I really disregard, especially that one, you know, when people say, when your parents say, but I've done so much to raise you. You haven't done shit, okay? You just gave me some food and you gave me some shelter, and I didn't even ask for that, okay? And the other part is, you know, like, I've raised you, like, you haven't raised me, okay? Slap yourself twice and remove this illusion from yourself, because you haven't raised me, okay? My cells in my body raised themselves. They have the genetical code to do that, okay? And they replicate and die by their own, you know, functionality, okay? By their own codes. You're not doing anything. You're not controlling my body how to reproduce each and every part. There is a slight control in this, yes, like, you know, they might not let you eat as punishment. They might, you know, put even more negativity onto your shoulders, because basically when you talk to a person, it's easy to understand that in most situations you will talk to their traumas, okay? There is no such thing as people in this world. There is just personas, and a persona is just a mask or a set of masks that people put on their faces because, well, most of them simply do not want to accept the truth. Why? Because there is only a little amount of people who are here to experience life as is. The other ones are just like NPCs in the video game, the so-called people who are stuck in the matrix. They are just spawned here so that, you know, they just exist in basic biological aspect, okay? In the basic biological code. There is not much of you know, advanced code of awareness, okay? So they will simply remain just that, just as they are. The point is, they will also suffer, but at the same time they will have sufficiently low awareness that they won't be conscious of the fact that they are actually suffering, okay? So the simple point about this is that this suffering is only something that we go through as long as we are not authentic. And those people, if you look at them, you will see them that they won't be suffering that much because they are authentic. They are that simple, and some people, yes, they are so simply plain stupid, or whatever way you want to call them, but it's what they are and who they are. That is why you will see them as, you know, unable to suffer, okay? they're not going to suffer because basically other people around them will feed them their energy, especially people like us, chosen ones, okay? And with this, the point is you have to become nothing, just like them. They are technically nothing. Socially speaking, no one will remember them, so basically they are nothing, but this has no link to it. It was just a pun. But secondarily, you have to become who you really are, beyond the concepts and programmings that you have been dug into, okay? Now the point is there are many things to actually understand. If people do wrongs to you, you don't have to hate them, you don't have to bear grudges against them. You just have to let those things go, because whatever you do, you won't ever forget those things, even if you consciously don't remember them, because memory has its own vibration, and based on that you will remember and you will forget things as your vibration increases and decreases. That is why when you get pissed, you have that impression that nothing can actually cheer you up, because your vibration is low enough that you won't be remembering any of those ideas that actually cheer you up. As you listen to music or do things that you actually like, your vibration slowly increases, so then you'll actually start remembering different other things. You have to understand that the mind actually works at thousands of different vibrations on a scale that is probably more than unfathomable to us. So the point about becoming nothing in life is to actually rid yourself of all the attachments that you have been building. You may have gone through rapes, you may have gone through people betraying you, you may have gone through different things, but the point is, the only reason why you are suffering is because you are making your past become your future. You are making your past become your future through a simple thing. You are creating so powerful attachments in your, cognitive, psychological, and emotional type, and you're cycling through those constantly and constantly, consciously and subconsciously, and the point is feeding those. You're just creating little monsters in your head, okay? And you have the impression that those monsters will actually do something to you, but the only thing is that you're actually the puppeteer who is, you're moving some puppets in your mind that you yourself have created, and you got so insane and nuts that you actually believe those puppets can actually kill you, but you're at the same time the one who's maneuvering them, okay? So it is quite funny. So the point in become nothing is to actually live life as it is, live life in the presence without the pesky existence of all these concepts and attachments that we have created and all the meaning we have given. It's basically giving up literally everything, because when you give everything up, and I'm not talking about riches or things like that, but you have to understand that you have a purpose in life, and you have to understand that unless you start doing something towards that, you will suffer. And it's not because I say, it's because this universe functions in this way. And you will see that miserable people don't necessarily suffer because that's what they are. They are basic codes, they are basic programming that simply works. Life will experience through each and every being, okay? And beings don't necessarily have to be biological to exist. Even your computer is alive. It's just your awareness and how much you inhibit yourself. These will actually dictate how much you actually accept in your life. And awareness, of course, is something that gradually increases through each and every facet of consciousness, okay? So I also don't believe in the idea of a soul, so I won't be speaking about soulless beings or soulful beings or whatever that invented phenomenon is. So the point about being nothing is about giving up literally everything you have acquired and doesn't serve you, okay? That includes people, and people who serve you. I'm not talking about slaves, I'm just talking about people who can uplift you, and people whom you can learn things from, okay? This is something quite very important, I would say, because if you're still surrounded by people who pull you down, you're not going to do as much as when you have an environment that really supports you. Remember what one ancient Greek philosopher said: if you want, if I remember correctly, if you want to have a good opinion about yourself, make sure there are no idiots around you. That is one quote that actually stuck with me, which is quite very interesting. So the point about this is, As the quote on the screen says, they say nothing is impossible, but I do nothing every day. This is actually quite very interesting because you see, I do nothing every day. Well, to do nothing each and every day doesn't mean to be lazy, okay? Because being lazy is actually still doing something. Because just being in that state is something that you accept to do, okay? Not doing something is still doing something because you do something else. You have the ability, let's say, you have the choice to do your homework, let's say, or to play video games, okay? If you choose not to do your homework, it's not something passive, it's still something active because you're doing something else instead. If you just choose to stay in bed the whole day, guess what? It's still a conscious process because you chose to do that, okay? You may lie yourself as much as you want, but come again, lie yourself as much as you want. Suffering is yours to have as a reward. So, nothing is impossible. Now, if you take the word impossible, okay, and read it more carefully, actually break it into 3 possible parts, you will see, and probably you will get a little eye-opener in the sense of English being a very occult language that really influences your subconscious mind. And if you read I am possible, you will see that impossible actually is a hidden word, actually a phrase, which means I am possible, okay? Now, nothing is impossible, of course, so long as there's a will, there's always a way. And doing nothing implies doing literally everything else than distractions. Of course, this world has billions of ways to distract you, so no one's actually expecting you to really do nothing, but the point is, if you're doing things that are only authentic to yourself and working towards your life purpose, that's technically doing nothing, because that's what the Matrix and the people representing it will tell you, because, you know, you're gonna do nothing of interest to them, okay? When you say I am doing nothing, you're basically propelling or propagating other people's idea upon you. They will tell you that you're doing nothing because what they say you're doing something that has no meaning to them. So what's the problem with that? Okay, it doesn't have any meaning to you, but it has to me. So that's actually a point. You have to keep up to your work irrespective of the situations, because this is how you actually become much better in life. Meditation and other things are also good because you become much more aware of yourself. The more aware you become, you will see that in the end the more nothing you are of, okay? Because technically when you say I am, okay, everything that comes after that is most likely an illusion or an empowering aspect, because I am are the most powerful 2 words in the universe, okay? And with these words, whatever meaning you attach through whatever comes afterwards to yourself, well, that's most likely what your cape is gonna be. You're gonna wear that cape, and well, hopefully you're gonna use self-empowering words so that the cape that you bear will be a cape that you wear with pride, instead of a cape that you wear with shame and guilt just because you have done nothing else than simply acquire other people's negativity and misfortunes. Because that's why most people actually are born. They have the purpose to bring us, people who are more aware of this world, but we also have to go through different traumas and little traumas and big traumas, because this is actually how we discover ourselves more and more. We will be filled with a lot of illusions and ideas, and we will end up believing that we are someone or something, and we are the physical body and just that. But the more aware we become, well, you will see that everything actually starts getting more and more sense the more aware you become in life. And the expression nothing is safe, well, actually it is a very big truth in a way, because being nothing is actually safe, okay? Because when you are, the more nothing you become, the more authentic you actually are, okay? Because thing equals a meaning, okay? And a meaning is a self-destruction button, okay? It's when you give meaning to something, it's like a self-destruction button, because you're only gonna accept that thing or see that thing or perceive that thing through the prism of what you have created, okay? Through the prism of what you have accepted, okay? Just like when you call objects by the so-called name, you are technically limiting them from being anything else because you've just labeled them in a single way, okay? Just like when you call yourself a human being, well, you're definitely not a human being, you're more like a human doing, because most people are actually doing humanity instead of being humanity, which is one of the greatest plagues of society till today. And well, being nothing is actually safe because you're in your authenticity. That's when you become even more blessed than the universe, and well, that is when you actually become more and more aware of yourself. And the more aware you become, the safer you become, because you're more aware of signs that signs and importance that you get in life, okay? And through these you're actually going to be much easier guided, okay? Now hopefully you have enjoyed this video. I don't want to stray too long. Just remember, being a nothing is not like being technically nothing in the societal terms. It's just that it is life is also about ridding yourself of as much meaning you have created for yourself, because that meaning doesn't serve you anything. You're just a human being here. You're just a being, a facet of consciousness living in a human body, okay? Actually, you're living through a human body, and you're experiencing life. Life is all about experiencing and learning. That's the whole thing of life. Everything else is just an invention, okay? Now, if you like the type of content that I'm creating, feel free to like and subscribe. Feel free to share, especially share, so that we can actually share and raise the awareness of people all around the world, for those who are still struggling, for those who are still on a good path. I prefer posting a lot of things about spirituality and introspection, because I've seen throughout time that I have a sense of diving much deeper than other people I've met. So why not share that wisdom with others? Because it's not gonna serve me anything before. Well, in life it will serve me, but well, after I perish, it's not gonna serve me anymore. So it's much better to share it while I can, right? So until next time, as usual, you are loved and appreciated. Take care of yourself and your close ones. Ferenc Jan Bor signing out.